had this idea for a new genre, well, a new genre to me anyway, and it includes talking into a microphone for 9 minutes. So I figured I'd start off by talking into a microphone for 9 minutes, see how it goes. I have a topic I want to write about, but I got a little lubed up and decided to go ahead and do something tonight. I guess I can blame the champagne for that, and I have to give a thanks for the bottle that probably broke my toe. It's swollen and blue, and I'm icing it now. It's like a sports injury. I think about all the different times I've iced this or that, my foot or my knee or my shoulder or whatever. Seems that life is one big contact sport. Still, life is good. It's been a good week. I've had lots of fun and lots of love going on in my house. I'm turning the corner on some things I took from childhood, or carried over from childhood, as it were. And I'm enjoying the effort to be the character of my daughter's father, the father of my family. And it's making me feel good because I'm trying really hard. It pays off, though. Life is pretty wonderful if you let it be. I set out to be a guy who lives a wonderful life, and I'm trying to be the guy who lives a wonderful life. And I'm trying to appreciate everything about it. And it turns out it is what you make of it. I say to myself, if you really want to feel connected in a spiritual level, or however you define it, just be more impressed. Be more impressed with things going on around you. Every minute detail in your life takes extraordinary complication to make happen. None of it just came together. So being more impressed will lead to a value equivalent of what you think of yourself and how you treat yourself and your family. For me, it started out with a look at who I have been. I printed out 9 years of previous bank statements and learned an immense amount about who I really am and the things that are undeniably true about me, or have been at least. And one of my favorite songs is by a band called LCD Sound System. It's called I Can Change. It's a great song because it's absolutely true. I've been the jock. I've been the guy laid up in the chair with leg cramps or ice packs on this or that, or in some other cases, some other worse self-inflicted injury. And a lot of that sacrifice was in the effort to be good at what the things that I did, that I have done. The things people do every day in life. Getting better at life for me took an idea of the future with what is my family, and learning better about how to spend my money. In a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he asserts that it takes about 10,000 hours to master any subject, and the notion that if you do anything for that long, then you will, by virtue of reinforcing the lessons that you learn in that every day, whatever that activity is, you'll be a master of it. You will do it as well as anyone else does it. And that includes sports, and it includes thinking and remembering or drawing or anything else that is a complicated activity. And once you understand that about yourself, then you can appreciate who you allow to influence you. What thoughts, what ideas, what practices you allow to influence you, what coaching. And that to me is an encouraging message. People, after all, spend a great deal of time with their activities. People play basketball, people play piano, people play golf. People do activities for a long time. They're dedicated to it. Whatever you're dedicated to, whatever you value doing, whatever you do is a part of your character. And we are all subject to our character. I am me. I am me in an untouchable, deep down inside way, and nobody will know about it, and blah blah blah. And in my heart of hearts, I hope that some part of me carries on for an eternity in this universe, or whatever it is. All the old books and the new theories are all still tied together, but I am subject to the character of me, and the character of me leaves evidence of himself. And I looked at the evidence of myself, and I decided if I'm going to be that character, or rather I am going to be that character, I may as well be honest about being that character, because that's the only way I can be sure of anything in the world, because people will have you believing up is down and left is right. People try to get you to believe the wrong thing, whether it be generalized in things like campaign ads and political parties, or specialized in the world of marketing and advertising. The knowledge of us is so very specific. A guy named Martin Lindstrom wrote a book called Brand Washed. I'm going to read it. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I want to hear what he has to say, because I don't doubt his research, and what he says is true. I've participated in marketing in retail and really what I'm doing right now. I'm building a brand for myself right now. It's whatever you choose to appreciate about what you do. The problem I see is that we just don't have a common message. There's no real one thing we can all believe and everybody be okay with it. People get stuck believing in somebody's God or somebody's guru and limit themselves from what they are allowed to think about and who they're allowed to appreciate. And this takes people out of believing that they're a part of the world that we're all included in. But if we've learned anything from the study of what has been, it is that things that adapt, go on, persist, they live. We can try to be the absolute best of the characters who have already been in our experience, but if we don't change what we're doing, we're going to harm ourselves and everyone around us, and then we're not going to be the ones writing the next book. It'll be something else. The cephalopods are the next species. There's an estimate out there that says that they're within 500,000 years of driving cars or performing the complex functions that we take for granted as being human. And it's because they have the eye that we have. They can identify reality in a similar way than we do. And they don't have the constraints of growing into what we grow into. They're boneless. And also their brain will develop in the same way that our brain developed. They're a completely different species and they share a quality that we have. And there's really no way of separating the miracle of what we have and the miracle of what they have. So it makes more sense for me to believe that we're all a part of a bigger thing, a bigger story. Cephalopods included. We're all implicitly linked or at play on a field that is intricately linked. And if we're going to play this game, then we need to do it better. Because, well, I'm not happy with it. I'm happy in my own life. I'm impressed in my own life because I'm trying very hard to have beautiful things in my life. I'm trying to have a family that I can appreciate and experience and understand. I'm searching into my history and into my family's history for an indication of who we have been, even on as macro a level as a cultural level, like the Appalachian culture, which I come from, or influences me. It goes a long way to informing my own character, how my character acts. And I want to understand more about who we are and how we can, just how it is we can all be these characters in this same story together better. Because like it or not, I hear news about everybody else, and anybody else could hear news about me, and it might be flashes in the pan or trivial or stories. But when you get beyond your street level and what's immediately in front of you and who immediately knows you, then you can really start to understand and appreciate that we are intricately linked and tied together. And it's time for us to cooperate with each other. I built this program to start it, and that's what this is all about. It's all about starting something new, making something that a successful man can point to and say, that is what I did, and this is my body of work. And I am successful. I did this. And I don't intend to be the most successful at this. I intend for this to be something that people will go on and master on a broader level than I could, because they grow up in it the way that kids today grow up with smartphones. I'm trying to build this plainly and right out in the open. A successful man. I'm trying to build a successful man. And if anybody agrees that that looks like success, then let's start this thing and build it. We can build this together better.